So what we're going to add today is called progressive relaxation. Now, you might have done this before if you've taken a yoga class, prenatal yoga or regular yoga. Sometimes they talk about this. But what happens when we experience pain, contractions? A lot of times we will tense our muscles. So you probably carry tension in one of three places. Most people have at least one of these three places where they tend to be tense, and that is in the forehead, a tense forehead, in the jaw, or in your shoulders. I know I'm a shoulders person, that I don't sometimes realize that I am walking around like this, and I need to actively think about relaxing my shoulders. What we want in labor is the exact opposite of tensing against a contraction. We actually want to be loose and allow. We want to allow our body to do the important work of opening our cervix. And if we're tense, if we have a tense shoulder, tense upper body, tense pelvic floor, tense butt, we are not allowing for the most work to happen. And we want that work to happen because that's the work that is going to get our baby out and finish up our labor. How we can pair this with our breath is when we start our breathing, we actually can think about relaxing, starting at our head and relaxing each breath a little bit further down our body, and really thinking about and connecting to how tense, how loose our body feels. And that's the progressiveness of the relaxation. It might take a little bit of getting used to, and you might think, I don't know if I'm doing this right. So if this is the first time you've ever done something like this, one good way to start is to actually tense up your muscles when you practice. So, actively kind of tense things. That way you can actively let things loose. And that can just kind of work within your mind as you get used to this kind of progressive relaxation. And doing this type of relaxation with our breath, you do start to kind of clue into what it feels like for something to be tight, to be tense. And a lot of us walk around with tension in different parts of our bodies that we don't even realize that we're holding tension in. So again, adding this practice to your daily schedule, it is going to be so helpful when labor starts, because when you pair those together, the relaxation and the breathing, you're actually layering on two strategies for working through these labor pains. So super powerful. I really recommend it. And let's go ahead and get those 10 practice breaths in. Now, if this is your first time breathing along with me, let me just do a quick summary. Even if you have been here before, then you will know that it's okay if you breathe in through your nose or your mouth, nose, whatever you want. I recommend breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Okay. That is a really effective way to do it, but sometimes you can't, or sometimes it doesn't feel good. Again, as long in as you can and slow out as you do it. And you might be at a different pace than I am, and that's totally fine. When you have a baby and your lungs are compressed, you might have a different breathing rate. Totally okay. Okay, great. So if you're watching this and you're like, I'm just going to skip the practice. That's what I hear sometimes. Don't skip the practice. Muscle memory is a real thing. As you practice, your body is getting used to this. And by 15 days of this that we're going to do together, hopefully you'll join me for 15 days. By the end of this, when your labor starts, you're going to just be able to go into it quickly. Okay. Okay, let's start with just a cleansing breath and maybe just kind of tense up our muscles after that. Okay. Okay, so if we start off kind of tense and then take a breath, start relaxing through the breath. Take note of the forehead, the jaw. Relaxing the shoulders. Relaxing the arms. Relaxing your hands. Relaxing our abdomen. Nice and loose. Relaxing our butt. Should be nice and loose by now. A few more breaths. Two more breaths. Last one. Okay. So I did that practice. Obviously, I'm doing it online and I have my eyes open. Hopefully you use the strategy that you learned in day 3. If you joined day 3, if you didn't, I've got the links below to all the days. Day 3, we talked about eyes closed or eyes open. Practice the way that works best for you, or just try different things. You could try with your eyes open. You could try with your eyes closed. You know, as you are testing out these different strategies, there's going to be some that you're going to connect with really well. And you can just think, you know, oh, I know that's going to work really well for me in labor. But there might be some that you think, yeah, that just doesn't feel right, or I'm not connecting with that. That is okay, because we are going to build on these strategies, and, you know, you are going to learn a little bit more and more every day, right? Awesome. Okay, so this breath that we just, you know, went through, it's very powerful. It's something that usually people, as their contraction builds and it gets, you know, a little bit starts becoming more uncomfortable, that's when we start that breath. And we continue that long, slow, steady breath and add on the relaxation that we talked about. You saw me do the hands, right? Like we taught about partners. We learned about partners on day 2. We are just going to continue that breathing all the way through to the end of the contraction. And it's going to help us reduce our pain, reduce our tension, and hopefully help those contractions do more work. Thank you, everyone, for practicing today's breath and breathing in labor. Breathing is going to be so powerful no matter what type of birth that you have. If you like this video, I always appreciate a like on the video, and shares certainly help. And I hope that you have a wonderful day ahead. And I look forward to seeing you right back here for day 5 tomorrow. Okay, guys, see you next time. Bye.